Hello students, welcome to Daily Chronicles by Abhiram IAS, where we'll be discussing articles from the 10th of March and also 11th of March from various papers. So let's see what are the topics we are discussing today. We'll be discussing about the Madhav National Park and also Satkosia Tiger Reserve from yesterday's paper, that is 10th of March, and we'll be also discussing about Chandrayaan 3, Kisan credit cards and PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana from today's paper, that is 11th of March. Chalo, let's get into the discussion. Now, here the first article is telling Madhav National Park in Madhya Pradesh becomes India's 58th tiger reserve and it is also getting more big cats soon. So the article is telling the centre declared the Madhav National Park in Madhya Pradesh. So where is Madhav National Park? It is in Madhya Pradesh, right? Madhav National Park is in Madhya Pradesh and it is also the 9th tiger reserve of the state. 9th tiger reserve of the state. And further, this announcement was made by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, that is the Union Environment Minister Mr. Bhupender Yadav, who expressed his excitement about this milestone in India's conservation efforts. So, in this context, let's see in depth about the Madhav National Park. So, this is important. Remember these points. It will be helpful for the prelims. So, where is Madhav National Park? It is located in the Shivpuri district of Madhya Pradesh, right? And it lies on the northern fringe of the Central Highlands, which is part of the Upper Vindhyan Hills. Remember, it is part of the Upper Vindhyan Hills. And if we see, two lakes will be flowing from this Madhav National Park, that is Sakya Sagar Lake and also Madhav Sagar Lake, right? You can remember this easily. And there are also some of the rivers which forms the catchment of the Amar Nadi river, right? So this Madhav National Park forms the catchment of the Amar Nadi river, which is in the towards the north and northeast of the Madhav National Park. And also there is Sindh river which flows along the eastern boundary of the park. Now remember this is important. See, the ecoregion is the tropical dry deciduous forest, okay? Tropical dry deciduous forest. And further, if we see its significance, so the Sakya Sagar Lake, we saw just now, there are two types of lakes here, Sakya Sagar Lake and Madhav Sagar Lake. So this Sakya Sagar Lake was declared as a Ramsar site in the year 2022, and further it is also part of Project Tiger and Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, right? And also there was the reintroduction of gaur, that is the Indian bison. This is the gaur, Indian bison, to restore the ecological balance. And if we see, historically a hunting reserve of the Scindia rollers of Gwalior was also occurred. So now this recognition of the Madhav Tiger Reserve further strengthens the tiger conservation efforts, right? Tiger conservation efforts in Madhya Pradesh, which is also enhancing the biodiversity and contributing to the India's commitment to the wildlife protection. So if we see next, remember this can be asked in the exam. Now, what are the other tiger reserves in Madhya Pradesh? See, when you are learning or when you are studying about the national park which is in the state, also study about the other national parks in that state. If you are studying about the Madhav National Park which is in Madhya Pradesh, also try to remember the other tiger reserves or national parks connected to the Madhya Pradesh, right? Now, if we see, what are the other tiger reserves in Madhya Pradesh? Kanha Tiger Reserve, Bandhav National Park, Pench Tiger Reserve, Satpura Tiger Reserve, Panna National Park and Kuno National Park. What is the significance of Kuno? Tiger reintroduction, right? Sorry. Don't make a mistake, it is cheetah reintroduction, right? It is cheetah reintroduction. So what is the significance of Kuno National Park? Cheetah reintroduction program has been launched. Now moving to the next article. It is telling that villagers face displacement as Odisha government revives tiger introduction plan in Satkosia Reserve. Now, what is this article telling about? So, the resettlement of the villagers from Satkosia Tiger Reserve, in Odisha, has sparked concerns over the human-wildlife conflict. Right? What is human-wildlife conflict? It is between the human and also the wildlife, right? And displacement issues are also being seen in this Satkosia Tiger Reserve. However, this Satkosia Tiger Reserve, which covers 1,136.7 square kilometers, currently has no tigers. But despite earlier relocation efforts, so now the officials are telling to the villagers to relocate from Satkosia Tiger Reserve, and now it has become the major concern. And with this context, let's see more in detail about the Satkosia Tiger Reserve. If you see the location, it is located in the Odisha state. Okay, there are two sanctuaries around this, that is the Baisipalli Sanctuary and also the Satkosia God Sanctuary. Now, at the junction of it is located at the junction of the Deccan Peninsula and also the Eastern Ghats. Remember this is important for the prelims exam, right? Now, if we see, it is like located with the hilly terrain, with the slopes, valleys, and also the Mahanadi river flowing through the reserve. So, which river is in Odisha? Major river, that is the Mahanadi river, right? And next, if we see further, if we see the vegetation and flora of the Satkosia Tiger Reserve, the forest type is of North Indian tropical moist deciduous and also the moist peninsular low level sal forest. So the dominant tree here is sal. Remember this? So the sal forest is located. Now, as usual, let's see the national parks in Odisha. What are the other national parks in Odisha? One is the Baitarnika National Park, Simlipal National Park, Nandankan National Park, and also the Satkosia National Park, right? This is all about the Satkosia Tiger Reserve. Now next, the next article is about the Chandrayaan-3. So what this article is telling, a new Chandrayaan-3 study suggests water ice exists. Water ice may exist where? Beyond the moon's polar regions and high altitude areas, near the high latitude areas, with the slopes not facing the sun. So this data was taken from the CHAST data. This CHAST is the one of the rover of Chandrayaan-3, right? Now let's see more regarding the Chandrayaan-3 mission. See, this Chandrayaan-3 is the lunar exploration. It was launched by the ISRO with the vehicle of LVM-3, that is the specifically GSLV Mk3, and the landing site was near the moon's south pole. And this mission was the successful mission, making the India the first country to land near the moon's south pole, right? These are the key points. Now, if we go into the specific details, if we see the payloads, lander payloads, first is Ramba, that is the radio anatomy of moon-bound hypersensitive ionosphere and atmosphere. Remember these payloads. This can be asked in the exam. So first is Ramba. R is standing for your radio anatomy of moon-bound hypersensitive ionosphere and atmosphere. So what is this objective? What is the Ramba lander payload objective? It measures the plasma density fluctuations near the lunar surface, right? It measures the plasma density fluctuations near the lunar surface. And next is the CHAST, that is the Chandra Surface Thermophysical Experiment. See, now in this itself you can see the thermophysical, what it is talking about. Let's see. So this objective is to study the thermal properties of the moon's polar regions. Remember, thermal properties of the moon's polar regions. And next lander payload is the ILSA, that is the Instrument for Lunar Seismic Activity. Remember, it is seismic activity. That means, so it will detect the seismic activity to understand the lunar crust and mantle, right? Now the last one is LRA, that is the laser retroreflector array, and this objective, this payload objective is it will analyze the most dynamic interactions with the earth. And there is also one more, that is the rover payloads. What this rover payloads does, see, there are two types of rover payloads. One is the APEX, that is the alpha particulate X-ray spectrometer. As you can see the name X-ray. So the objective is to determine the chemical composition and mineral attributes of the lunar soil and the rocks. And the next is the LIBS, that is a laser induced breakdown of spectroscope. And this objective comes with the analyzing the elemental composition to enhance understanding of lunar geology. Now, in this picture you can see the lander payloads and rover payloads. Please do remember the payloads of Chandrayaan 3 which can be asked in the exam. Now, moving to the next article. It is about the Kisan credit cards. Now, what it is telling, so the Kisan credit card loans defaulters have been risen to 42% in the last 4 years. In the last 4 years, with NPAs reaching 97,543 crore in the December 2024. Now, so that is why our Kisan credit card is in the news. Let's see in detail about the Kisan credit cards. And there was a previous year question regarding the Kisan credit cards. So that is why please do consider reading the Kisan credit cards again. So this Kisan credit cards is launched in the year 1998. Now why it is launched? So it is launched to provide farmers with easy credit for purchasing agriculture inputs. What are these agriculture inputs? Like the seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, etc. And also it is also providing you cash for the production needs. And further it was extended in the year 2004 to cover the investment credit for the aligned and non-farm activities also. And further in the budget 2018-19, it is extended to the fisheries and animal husbandry farmers for the working capital needs. So this is your Kisan credit card basically. And now, who will implement this? So commercial banks, regional rural banks, it is RRBs, and small finance banks and cooperatives will be implementing the Kisan credit cards. Remember this, it is important for the exam. Now further, what are the Kisan credit cards objectives? So for the short-term credit for crop cultivation and also post-harvest expenses. So Kisan credit card can be used for the post-harvest expenses also, and produce marketing loan where Kisan credit card will be helping in the marketing also, and also consumption needs of farmer households, working capital for the farm assets, and also the allied agriculture activities, and it is also for the non-allied also, and also invest credit for the agriculture and allied sectors. So these are the objectives of the Kisan credit card. Now further, if we see who are eligible for the Kisan credit card, individual or joint owner cultivators, you have to be the cultivator, and also the tenant farmers are also eligible for the Kisan credit cards, and oral lessons, and also the sharecroppers are also eligible for the Kisan credit card, and also self-help groups and joint liability groups including the tenant farmers and sharecroppers. Remember, it is also for the tenant farmers. So this is important in the exam. Now moving to the last article of the day. Here it is saying that PM Suryaghar, Muft Bijli Yojana. In the name itself, you can understand Muft Bijli Yojana. It crossed milestone of 10 lakh installations. 10 lakh installations as of 10th of March 2025. Now, in this context, let's know more about the scheme. So, this scheme aims to provide free electricity. As in the name itself, you can understand Muft Bijli. So, free electricity to 1 crore households by the year 2026-2027, reducing the carbon emissions, for the reduction of carbon emissions, and also promoting energy self-sufficiency. Remember this. Now, see, this PM Suryaghar Muft Bijli Yojana was launched by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. This can be asked, remember this, it is launched by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, and it aims to provide 300 units of free current. 300 units of free current per month to the 1 crore households via the rooftop solar panels. So, remember this. Rooftop solar panels. Why? To encourage the adoption, the government offers a 40% subsidy, 40% subsidy on installation of this solar panels. So the subsidy is given to the 40% of installation cost to promote the solar energy adoption. Now further, who are eligible? Indian citizens, homeowners and valid electricity connection owners and no prior solar subsidy. That means only one time it is eligible. If you have taken the solar subsidy before, you are not eligible. And now, who will implement this? So it is implemented by the National Program Implementation Agency at the national level and the State Implementation Agencies at the state level. So separate, both at the national level and at the state level. Now further, if we see, the central financial assistance is given for the subsidy for the rooftop solar through the national portal. There is portal for this, you have to register in that and you will get the subsidy. And also the model solar village, under this PM Suryaghar Muft Bijli Yojana, you can see the model solar village as it is telling that one solar village per district. Remember, one solar village per district. And what the district should have, so the villages above 5,000 population or 2,000 for the special states are eligible for this model solar village, and also 1 crore financial assistance to the top renewable energy producing village per district. So 1 crore of financial assistance will be given to the top renewable energy producing villages per district. That's all for today, and we'll be back tomorrow with the other articles. Thank you.